Good morning. It's October the 15th, 2015. Time to kick off another trading day. The East Coast is supposed to get a blast of Canadian air that they're even forecasting maybe some snow in some parts, which would be a little early to say the least. The southern plains are still being hit by much warmer than normal weather. Doesn't feel like fall yet down here, so we're in that transition period where the farther north you live, but more it feels like fall, maybe upcoming winter. And down south, I'm wondering if fall is ever going to get to the area. So we got a day in the 80s here. Going to enjoy it tomorrow. The high is supposed to be 66, 67, so we'll see how that plays out. Very little went on overnight around the globe in the news. Chinese yuan was relatively stable. Most markets are fairly quiet. One other thing to me is really interesting is that when you see this type of a rally and a very, very strong close, you can see that Globex opens, they go get stops above that number, and then it sells, and we're looking at a B right now. I mean, it is definitely pointed lower. So we've got this high volume number attractor in this 11-12 area. There's your attractor, and then we've got our breakout yesterday in the 129.02. And what's going to drive the market today? Well, I think the direction of the E-mini is ultimately the decider for what happens in treasuries today. The E-mini rallies, treasuries will sell, but they probably won't break. Every stock market around the globe is up off of comments from two major bankers in the European Union, talking about how inflation is well below the European Central Bank's targets. The implication is, although it wasn't stated, that the European Central Bank will have to become more aggressive and do more with their current QE program, therefore buy stocks. Hard to make sense of that kind of logic, circular logic, but here we are. So I think the key thing today for us is that, can the E-mini take out 2,000 and then hold that level? If it can't, then treasuries are set to rally more. Treasuries rallied yesterday on weakening economic news. The news overnight, from an economic standpoint, isn't all that strong. So weak economic news, lower revenues, lower earnings per share will force the Fed and other central banks around the globe to maintain their current policies or add to them, buy stocks. So we have resistance pretty much in the 16 to 20 area. That's where we are right now. We weren't able to get through 20 last night. We had sell failure to take out 20 to 24, and right there is your 20 level. So would like to sell 19s to 23s. Don't know if we can get that on. So we'll put a question mark at 16. Sell 1 19 to 23. Sell 2 27 to 31. On the buy side, we've got volume at 11.5. We're at 14.5 right now. Think that we can trade it a little bit lower. Might have to pay 13s. A lot of it just depends on how they handle the CPI news this morning and the Empire State Manufacturing Industrial Survey, Manufacturing Survey. So we'll put 5 to 9 as a buy one, question mark at 13. That is support. And then 29 to 01 on the idea that maybe the E-mini is going to attempt to get through 2,000. So probably have to be a little more aggressive on the sell side than we are on the buy side starting out this morning. And when the news hits, we'll come back and we'll adjust our numbers. So basically, failure to get through 16.20 is the trade. Would like to get the trade done at 19. Can live with the trade in the 15 to 16 area. Okay, the knob spread came in, but not a whole lot, 4/32 overnight. And If you're going to be short in treasuries, you want to be short in the bond. If you want to be long in treasuries, you want to be long in the bond. I mean, and the rallies and the selling in the note won't be as strong as they are in the ZB. So that's where the action is, and that's where you'd hope to play. So we've got the same situation right here, 16 to 20. You can see that 18, 19 have held up pretty much as resistance, and we have 15. So selling failure to take out 16 to 20. So 15 to 19 is where the sell would be. Then 27 to 31. 160 is pretty formidable resistance in my opinion. Again, it's going to be down to what does the E-mini do. We've got volume at 59.07. Last rotate down yesterday stopped at 59.02, so we'll make 1 to 5 by 1 on the idea that we can trade a little bit lower. Then the breakout came from 16. We'll make 17 to 21 by 2. Okay, gold held. It entered our sell zone last night, about where we thought it would be, at an 85.87. And for those of you that live in London, I mean, that is the gold market, and this high volume number at 87 basically held. So 87 to 90 is pretty formidable resistance. Inside the congestion area, it's a P. If you look at the entire session, it's leaning B right now. So got the breakout level down at 79 to 80. Last rotate down yesterday stopped at 77. So 79.81 by 1. 74.76 by 2. The pattern has been for gold selling to start in Asia, and a lot of that could be China trying to get cheaper purchases in the cash market. So the Fed or the U.S. market doesn't see nearly the huge buy or sell orders on the opening like we get out of the rest of the world. And London is the start or the dog as far as the gold market goes, currencies and softs, and they're the second largest money center in the world. And probably, you know, given the regulatory environment in the United States, we are giving away all of our industry, all of our leadership. You know, every other country out there, especially outside of the Europe and the United States. I mean, but Europe even does it. They really, really protect their exporting, their international businesses, their multinationals. And we don't. I mean, we bend over backwards to give away the store, and then we finance it, and then we wonder what in the hell's happened to our GDP. Okay, looking at the euro, we had a 115 sell last night. That still looks... I mean, it's a pretty round number, 115, and it's going to generate opposite activity. You got the London high at 1490. We've got the spill from Asia at 1472. So this 1475, sell 1, sell 2, 1500. On the buy side, the last rotate down in B periods stopped at 1418, so 1415, 1425. I think we can go a little lower, buy 1. Then 114 even by 2. So basically support 14.25 and resistance 14.75 to 1500. Okay, crude oil, the people that play crude oil don't see any disruption with what's going on in Syria. In fact, they'd probably see a little more order brought to the Middle East if you can come in and get rid of ISIS. And like I said, the Russian military they're softening up and they're preparing the battlefield, and they're taking away ammunition. They're taking away logistics, the ability to transport and move people, munitions and stuff around. They're also attacking the command and control areas, and there are rumors that a lot of fighters are shaving their beards and trying to get into Turkey. Boy, it's got to give Turkey something to think about, letting those people come through. It's really fine when you're pushing them the other way, but when they come back to you, these are not desirable people floating around in the general population. All of them trying to get back to Europe and await what comes to them in Europe, and probably not a hell of a lot. Can't put these people in jail. It would be racism. So 46.50 to 75, sell 1. 47.47 and a quarter, sell 2. The 40, I think we're in a B. We can head a little bit lower, so we're going to make 45.50, 45.75, buy 1. Obviously, we've got to take out the overnight lows to get there. Then 45 plus or minus, buy 2. It's a pretty round number. And to the E-mini. I think the battle in the E-mini is going to be fought at 2,000. We do have some news today that can drive the markets. I think the manufacturing focus will be on Philly Fed and the Empire Manufacturing Survey. The reasons given for the stock market rally, Helsenrath came out and said Fed can't raise interest rates in 2015, even though Fed governors are going out and talking about making a strong case for raising rates. They can't raise rates. Yeah, oil and gas both come out today, Earl. Natural gas, we'll get to those numbers. 92 BCF crude, a build of 2.2. So CPI called minus 0.2%. This one might come in higher. It's a lagging indicator. Core plus 0.1. Probably will hit that number. The focus will be core CPI. Jobless claims 270. That's kind of the default number now. You know, people they don't pay a lot of attention to it, or they don't believe it. They cook these numbers too. Empire State Manufacturing Survey -7. Come in lower than forecast. Philly Fed -1 could come in lower than forecast, which would be all the more add to the news that'll make the Fed keep interest rates the same or even lower them. Natural gas inventories 92 BCF. That's about right, 90 to 100. We're on in the cooling season or heating season right now, so they can build sometimes 100 BCF. It's a lot of pumping of natural gas if you think about it. Crude inventories plus 2.2. So here we are, and resistance is 2000, 2005. That is sell 1. 10 to 15 is going to be sell 2. We're definitely looking at a P. Can we get through and take out yesterday's high, this ML high right here in the 2003-2005 area? That's the question mark. If we can't, then the market is set to break lower. On the buy side, last rotate down in Asia was 90. We're at 98. We've got a little news. So the London low was 94. So 90 to 95, that's where support is. That's buy 1. Then our 80 to 85 is buy 2. So the issue is getting long. Have to be done early to see if we can take out and hold 2000. Best resistance is 2003, 2005. Okay, it's going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy with it. See you as soon as possible. Later.